Okay, I think we're going. So this is many years in the making for the Iditarod Outsider. Richie and Pete have been bugging me to do it while they were racing, but I don't really have any friends besides these guys from the Kuskokwim. So I didn't really want to do it with, talking to some doofus. And now that Richie's retired and Andy's Iditarod duties are limited, figured we could do this, and I think it's going to be fun. So this is going to be drinking and dogs with Iditarod Outsider. So I got Richie. Which nickname do you want to go with? Which is your favorite out of all of them?
Richie Suzuki.
Richie Suzuki.
One of my favorite baseball players of all time, man.
11-time Iditarod musher and last year's third place finisher. I got my Kaiser Kennels mug going. Do I have it? Oh no, I don't even have a face right the way. There you go. And we got one-time finisher, 2007 25th place.
No, shit, no. I was 42nd place.
Man, I give you too much credit.
The purple people eater.
I finished right behind Dallas Stevie in 2007.
His rookie year or what?
No, it was his second year. He was running his dad's puppy team. And I finished one spot behind him. Yeah.
42nd place finisher in 2007. The toughest, more scratches than any other Iditarod in history, though.
Yep.
I'll put that out there. Andy Yanksman, also a board member on the Iditarod committee. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the ITC committee. I am one of them. Yep.
One of them.
I'm also a race judge, and I'm also the MC at the Restart Willow. In case people forget that, that's the most fun of the whole shebang,
Yeah, you just got back from Rainy Pass, huh?
Just got back from Rainy Pass. I was there. Got there Sunday evening. I usually come back Tuesday. I got weathered in until Wednesday, but it was a great time. Awesome staff in Rainy Pass.
They don't call it Rainy Pass for nothing if you don't get weathered in, I guess.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
So yeah, we just want to do a quick, 20-ish minute recap, drink some beer, talk about what's going on in the race. Right now, just to give a quick update, Nick Pettit is in first, quotations, and he's slogging his way up to Ruby, chased right behind by Jesse Holmes. Reddington just left Cripple. And am I missing anyone that's moving right now?
Well, with Jesse in around the same spot as Paige and Travis.
Oh yeah, Paige and Travis. And right before we got on, Richie was saying he was watching the live feed and saw Pete clipping up his dogs. So
yeah,
that means he's got to be on the trail soon.
Yeah, you know what happened there the damn Zoom app was downloading, and when it was downloading, the live feed froze on me, so I missed Pete leaving. Damn it!
Yeah. GCI is an amazing sponsor of Iditarod, but sometimes in places like Antioch, you can't have everything going at the same time.
Well, we have Starlink.
Oh,
come on, Colin.
Did I walk right into that one?
Terrible.
Well, Elon Musk should. Is that who runs that?
Oh yeah, that's the Elon deal.
That's the Elon deal. See, should have GCI, dipshit.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I just wanted to touch on. Well, let's start with Pete. How's Pete looking? You got Andy saw him in person. Richie, you know his team probably as good as anybody beyond Pete and maybe Ron Kaiser. This far into the race, about almost to the exact halfway point. What we looking like?
Richie, you go first.
I mean, I think they're setting up to be a good team for the second half. I mean, Pete's always been, I don't want to say conservative, but he's kind of been a person that keeps it conservative the first part of the race and likes to push harder the second half. So from here on out, Cripple to Ruby, it's when you rest in Cripple, it's kind of a tricky one what you want to do to get to Ruby. So I know I've been there a bunch of times, and he's been there. Him and I have been there together, and we've sat there and debated. We debated how to get to Ruby, whether you take a short break, whether you do one long run, So I'm really curious to see what he does tonight. But I mean, the team as a whole, I think they look good.
What's that run from Cripple to Ruby? What's the mileage on that?
Like 73 or something.
73. So it is a one run possible,
When in I think 2014, Pete and I both did it, and it was a 9.5 hour run. It was a long run.
Wow.
And that was a fast trail too.
What you thinking, Andrew?
Well, in Rainy Pass, Pete had the best looking team of anybody who came through Rainy Pass while I was. I went to where people checked in. I think I saw 35 of the 38 teams check in, and he had the best team, like the most animated, most powerful team.
Either Andy has to sneeze.
Everyone who was there, and that I've actually seen that a lot from Pete's team. He's always well prepared at the start of this race. His dogs are powerful, but like Richie said, he's very cautious and careful of how he races them in the middle of the race. And I would say, I think he's even holding him back a little bit.
You're breaking up a little bit, Andy. Must be one of those turns. He's coming back from Girdwood from a fancy dinner out in Girdwood. So one of those turns behind those rocks.
There are teams that have fast.
That frozen face right there of Andy's.
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, now I can hear you. But I think you're still a little slow. But yeah, we got the gist of what you were saying. Holding back holding back his team. And
so I would just say, like, can you hear me now?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Maybe not.
Kind of.
So
I can hear you guys.
let you get clear into Anchorage. So I've sort of, I know shit about mushing in the big picture, but watching the speed, he's been a touch slower than the lead pack, but keeping up with the lead pack. It always looks like he's just a touch slower. And I was talking with your dad, Myron, today, and I was like, well, he went through a lot of territory. I think he's getting into territory that his dogs are more used to. Is that kind of true? A little flatter river runs, a little more windy. I don't know what Rainy Pass is probably windy as fuck, but yeah, I was like, he gets through those mountains, and then maybe he lets them off the hook a little more and lets them run a little more. And I'm hoping that we're going to see that. This next run will be a big telling run for his team. If he has a fast run, he's right in this shindig. So, we can't spend the whole time talking about Pete as much as we'd like to, or telling Pete stories, which would be also amazing.
Come on, Colin, we can. That's what I came for.
we all have a million. I was talking earlier about Nick. He's just getting to Ruby. Oh, what do you guys think of that? Like, I mean, he's just barely moving, I think, right now, isn't he?
Yeah, it shows he's doing 6.5. I got
6.5. Last time I looked, he was doing 4, and it just like, I keep thinking he's going to be close. He just hit the official halfway point, so he is the first musher to the halfway point. And I keep thinking he's going to be there or closer. It looks like we lost Andy, but there he is.
Dallas was first to the halfway.
Well, I mean, that's but the official mileage, 487.5. He just hit that.
Okay.
I don't know. You know,
Yeah.
I've seen his team sort of go out fast and then just like hit a wall, and that's the last thing I want. But it sort of looks like it might be happening again. What do you think about running to Ruby as a strategy, Richie?
Well, this race he's played it pretty conservative the first half. A lot of mushers have done it, and at first I thought, with how he was playing it conservative, I thought it, might play out in his favor getting there, but these last couple runs of pretty short breaks and long runs, it's kind of, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, he's going into his 24, but at the same time, you even if you're going into your 24, you take that edge off your team.
I mean, let's say he makes it to Ruby in the next, what, 2 hours?
Let's see.
He only has, 10
He got?
hours on that group from Cripple. So,
Well, when they go by him, they're gonna have.
yeah,
They're
gonna
yeah,
have
they're
over half a day on him, right?
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and maybe that edge is taken off of them to where if he wanted to do some long runs to try to get back in the mix, I don't see it.
Yeah. The person I think actually leading the race, as far as what it looks like, Beals on wheels, man, he looks good, and he's looked good for a while.
Yeah, and one thing is I thought he's looked really good, but his move getting to Cripple, and he got there I think it was under 6 hours, and then he went another like 2 hours, and so now this run for him to Ruby, he's broken it up pretty evenly, and I think that was a really smart move.
Yeah, shorten it up, shorten that race up, or shorten that stretch up for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's not really shortening it up. Those are some long runs, but it's better than doing a really long run from Cripple to Ruby, because man, that long run Cripple to Ruby can make or break your race sometimes.
Yeah. Andy, you back in good service?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We got you.
It says 3G, but you never know going around these corners here what's going to happen. So,
yeah, you're good.
So, okay. So anyway, I've been watching the last day and a half or so pretty closely since I got off the trail, and I think Travis right now, if you had to pick somebody right now, I mean, a lot's going to happen between now and the end. He is set up the best. Both his traveling speed for the last 2 days, and also what Richie was talking about, the fact that he broke up that long run through the interior there perfectly. He has a lot of options when he gets to Ruby now. He could do his 8 there and bank rest, or he could keep pushing ahead of the lead pack, and he should be in the lead leaving Ruby. He's the leader and gets to pick how the race plays out for the next 2 or 3 days. Very impressive run, but I wouldn't sleep on a couple folks on Page. Page completely burned up that whole middle trail there from the Cusco to so far partway to the Yukon. I mean, she's got an awesome team. Her travel times are incredible right now.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to vault right into that top 5 and be a contender here. So very interesting to see what's going to happen.
I mentioned that in my morning post on her run from Takatna to Ophir was the fastest run, I think, by like 12 minutes of that top group. And Gabe Durham.
Gabe Dunham.
Yeah, she had the exact same time too.
Yep.
Later in the pack, it's sort of in the second pack, but as far as the lead pack, she had the fastest time by like 12 or 15 minutes. So yeah, I posted, I was like, let's watch out for her. And then sure as shit, she's right in it now, like later in the day. So yeah, really impressive.
Colin, do you have a nickname for Paige or?
Page Turner for like a book, a page turner. Somebody asked for Jesse Royer's nickname, and Myron suggested Royer the Destroyer, and I just love that.
The Destroyer, that's the best.
Jesse Royer the Destroyer. Sounds like a wrestling nickname, and yeah, it's perfect.
And it's like or like Conan the Barbarian type movie or something like that. Royer the Destroyer.
The sequel was Conan the Destroyer.
Okay, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. How about Jesse Holmes? He punched the moose. He had the clown makeup on, and looks kind of rough, but he's right in there. Like he's running third right now and just cruising right along. And I thought earlier he was sort of dipping away, and then all of a sudden he's right back there. What do you guys think about his run?
Go ahead, Andy.
Go ahead, Richie. Oh, okay. Well, I would say, knowing Jesse and his team and how he runs, he's kind of like feast or famine, right? Like he has a very talented dog team, and he can get them to go really, really fast. He's pretty aggressive early in the race, and then you never really know mid-race what his strategy is going to be. He's kind of a wild card, but I will say the last like 4 or 5 years, he's been kind of cautious mid-race, and that's why he's had pretty good finishes now the last few Iditarods, and I think he could make a move here in the next 200-300 miles that vaults him in the top 2 or 3 and make a push on the coast. Like he's done this enough times now. I think he kind of has his plan dialed in, and I would watch out for him. Like Travis has a little bit faster travel times, maybe a little bit stronger team right this second, but Jesse's the kind of guy, he could do like a 7-mile-per-hour run from one checkpoint to another, and then a 10.5-mile-an-hour run from another checkpoint to another checkpoint. You're like, where did that come from? He can put pedal to the metal anytime if something goes well and vault right into the top. So he's the wild card, and I think he's definitely in the mix for a top 3 finish right now.
Yeah, I think that's what sort of confused me, because like he was looking so good, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, he sort of dropped off, and then he sort of snuck up back on me, and I was like, oh, he's back in the race. Yeah, he's that explanation perfectly fits that. Wait, you got any thoughts on him, Rich?
I mean, I pretty much agree with what Andy's saying there. When he ran through Nikolai the other day, I just assumed, okay, he's going to do what he normally does. He's going to run from his camp spot to Ophir. He obviously saw something there when he went into McGrath, and he kind of said on one of the interviews, or the insider interviews there, that he didn't have many experienced dogs in the team, and so he was throttling back a little bit. And I kind of thought that maybe that little bit of time he was giving up might get him out of the mix here. But I mean, he's right back in it, and I'm kind of curious here to see if his confidence gets to him here, because he sounded pretty confident in Ophir, and and sometimes that happens. You let your confidence get to you, and I want to see if he goes a little too hard here these next couple runs and maybe starts throttling back again, or if that team maintains. It's going to be interesting.
Well, it looks like yeah, that will be. I mean, I guess you guys would know better than me, but pushing your team until it feels like maybe they want to be throttled back. I really have no idea. Like, I mean, you sort of feel the team, right?
Well, yeah, but I think with Jesse, there's kind of little roller coasters with his racing. When he's up, he's up. When he's down, it's so I mean, we'll just have to wait and see what happens here.
Okay. Speaking of camping spots, I was just my own personal curiosity, mile 379 right by the Noco River. What's there? Everybody stop there.
Oh, that's the Carlson Crossing cabin. It's a dandy. get a nice fire going in there. It's so comfortable. I love it. One of my favorite.
Carlson's Crossing.
Yeah, and there's a little creek right there. If you zoom in, it looks like a heart. I think
Yeah.
your calls it Carl's Love Cabin or something.
We should have got Yor on here. He would have been good
Yeah,
too.
we should have. Next time.
Richie, can
And-
you do yours voice?
I can't do
I-
Yor.
I'm not
Love
gonna,
cabin.
I'm not gonna do it.
Andy, we're getting close. Coming up. So a little background. Me and Andy were roommates for a bunch of years, and this time Andy brought over an old like 1990 Macintosh computer, one of those old box ones, and it had the Apple Draw on it. And I was playing Apple games, and I looked in Apple Draw, and it had all these weather maps that Andy had made, because he loved watching weather, and I thought he was going to be the next Reuben Eaton. Oh man, are you still there, Andy?
Yeah.
Okay, running out of time. It says upgrade now, but we're going to be done. But Andy, I just want to touch quick on the weather coming up. What do you think? I saw the temperatures are going to drop. Doesn't look like the wind is going to pick up, but the temperatures are definitely getting cold. What do you think? Andy froze. Asked about cold weather. Andy froze. Richie? What?
So we're gonna get cold.
Here he goes.
You got me?
Yep, gotcha.
Okay. So we're gonna get a cool down, like a fairly dramatic cool down. The last couple days they've had like pretty nice weather in the interior, highs like in the 20s, and then dropping below zero at night. The next couple days it's gonna get pretty dang cold with a kind of a stiff north wind. So
Okay.
you're gonna have highs in like the single digits, and I bet on the river it'll be 20 below or colder. When they get out on the coast, lows will be probably 15 below, 10, 15 below, but a stiff wind. And guaranteed that kind of temperatures on the Bering Sea coast, you're going to have big wind coming across the ice from Koyuk and through all the different blowholes on the Seward Peninsula. You're going to get from White Mountain over to Safety. I bet Topcock the next 5-6 days it can get blasted with north winds. And that has been a big issue the last few races where we've had some cold finishes. A lot of the rookie teams, folks, that like get out there and that north wind is brutal and there's no visibility and there's no trail. I think we're going to see some of that in the next, like early mid next week. It's going to be 15 to 20 below, crazy north wind. And I think that's going to be a significant factor for teams in their last 200 miles of the race. It's setting up perfectly for that kind of situation right now. So really something to watch for from Unifleet on. I think it's going to be, the wind is going to be a major factor.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be an Iditarod if there wasn't a weather component.
Yeah.
And I bet Richie is, the trail conditions have been pretty nice so far. And it's the kind of trail you probably wanted to be on, but then you realize like, shit, I got to deal with that coastal wind, and I'm kind of glad I'm in my cozy home in Antioch right now.
Well, I mean, so if there's a pretty good stiff north wind, I'm just gonna talk about.
Well, Starlink finally had a
Oh boy,
karma.
Elon.
You there?
Yeah,
there
you got it.
Okay,
Tell
so
Emery to get up. Tell Emery to get off her phone.
she's probably trying to watch a show or something. Yeah. But anyway, so Ruby to Caltag, then they're gonna have some blown in trail. I mean, with all that snow and good
that's true.
north wind, so it's gonna slow things down a little bit. That's one good thing. Pete's not a big fan of the cold and the wind, but you know what? He performs good in it.
Mm-hmm. His dog, that's the weather his dogs know is blown over rivers
the wind.
and
Yeah.
and yeah, he performs
like-
good, and
Yeah.
no, I
One-
don't think anybody likes the wind and the cold. Is there mushers that actually do?
Yeah. Well, he one day he jokingly told me, he goes, because I was down in Bethel for a Cusco start or something, and it was blowing like hell, and I was like, man, I was like, it's hard to walk out of the handler cabin here, you know, and I was like, all your dogs are out milling around, mine are kind of hunkered down. He goes, my dogs just step out of the house to get a touch of the wind on their nose.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Not like your weak upriver dogs,
Exactly.
protected by trees and mountains.
Bunch of tree people dogs up here.
Tree people dogs.
The tree
El-
people.
Elvish dogs up there in Antioch. Anyways, I think on that note we can kind of peter off here. No pun intended. But yeah, maybe later in the race, like once they get through the coast, and if it's looking like an exciting thing that we need to break down, maybe we should get back together for some more drinks to talk shop.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for this, and yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Peace.
Look at that Kaiser Racing Kennel. Cheers, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, we'll
Okay,
talk
later.
soon.
Here.